Master Yi gave up Wing Chun to practice shooting. The reborn Master Yi is now blind, but he hasn't forgotten his life and death battles with foreigners. In this life, Master Yi aims to reclaim everything he lost and personally take down his close friend John Wick. Fire. He draws his gun and takes down the three men in front of him. With a blank expression, he dismounts and kneels before the elder, requesting to leave and asking for his freedom. However, the elder firmly refuses and tells John to abandon this idea.
Came here thinking you could end this by killing me? Then you are mistaken.
The elder said that even if he dies, nothing will change. The High Table will never let anyone who tries to escape go, including John. But isn't life about having the courage to try? The High Table is a global assassin organization. All the world's renowned gangs have a place in the High Table. Besides the 12 most famous gangs, there are many affiliates. This hotel is one of them. But now the hotel manager is in big trouble because he helped John. He is now facing a retaliatory demonstration from the High Table.
Giving the Marquis the power.
In front of the large floor-to-ceiling window, the hotel manager finally meets the young Marquis. The setting sun seems to symbolize the end of his life. Since the hotel manager had helped John to some extent before, as a form of punishment, when the last grain of sand falls in the hourglass. The hotel manager is now officially disowned by the High Table. He can no longer represent their power in New York. However, the Marquis didn't kill him, just clipped his wings as a lesson. The poor assistant didn't even have time to say his last words before passing away. To quickly deal with John, the Marquis called upon a master. Master Yi, who is blind, finally entered this magnificent place.
Respectfully.
In the world of martial arts, one cannot always act freely. Once a person has a weakness, they can easily be threatened. The classmate uses Master Yi's daughter's life to tightly control him, forcing Master Yi to obey his orders. Upon learning that the person he is to kill is John, Master Yi can't help but feel conflicted. The two are old friends. Even the most cold-hearted assassin couldn't bear it. But if he doesn't take out John, the Marquis will kill his daughter. Master Yi could only kneel on one knee. Master Yi knows that John doesn't have many trustworthy friends. Koji, who runs a hotel in Osaka, Japan, is one of them. This hotel is also under the High Table. After Koji's daughter graduated, she temporarily took charge of the reception. Welcome to the Osaka Continental Hotel. How can I assist you? Normally, hotels don't allow animals to stay, but she was worried that Xiaohei would accuse her of discrimination. In the end, the girl gave him the room card. Actually, Xiaohei was also after the bounty and came to hunt John. However, he was also a fan of John and didn't plan to kill him right away. But the unusual atmosphere outside recently made the girl keenly aware that something big was about to happen. John's matter was causing a stir in the underworld, and her father Koji had a good relationship with John. It's possible that their family hotel would become a place of turmoil. The girl also wanted the best for her father. Since her father's mind is made up, they will leave it to fate. As expected, 3 minutes later, Koji saw John appear at the hotel entrance. He blamed John for impulsively killing the elder. The High Table would send people to blow up the New York hotel to assert their inviolable authority. Those who offend them have nowhere to hide. Even if John comes to Osaka, he will likely be quickly hunted by assassins. Taking out the elder with one shot was satisfying, but how will it all end? The High Table members are relentless. This is big trouble. But among brothers, there's no talk of right or wrong. It's just a matter of life and death. True friendship is revealed in times of adversity.
Kill them all. Not even you can kill everyone.
Koji was right. No one can remain undefeated forever. And the High Table's assassins have already arrived.
That's your choice.
I will talk it out with the killers myself. Negotiation here means trying to suppress with force. At a command, everyone readies their weapons. However, formalities must be observed. While welcoming, Hauer reiterates that no one is allowed to kill inside the hotel. These are the rules of the High Table, and no one is an exception.
I'm going to have to ask you to surrender your firearm.
In such a critical moment, who would be foolish enough to hand over their life-saving weapon? Just as tensions were escalating, Master Yi finally appeared. Speaking of which, everyone used to be good friends and brothers with Master Yi, sharing a bond as strong as gold. But now, our positions are different.
Wise man
Listen.
If Koji dares to interfere, it means going against the Marquis, who represents the high table. But today, Koji was determined to protect John. He even turned off all the lights and had his men ready their bows and arrows for a counterattack. Once the fight begins, there's no turning back. The Japanese samurai and the Western assassin showcase their skills. Koji is not a corrupt man. He knows how to make the most of modern firearms. It doesn't take long for him to gain the upper hand and force the assassin to leave his territory. But he still underestimated the power of the high table. In an instant, dozens of heavily armed assassins stormed into the hotel. Air had no choice but to retreat with his men. Complaining that John shouldn't have brought trouble, but it's too late now as the enemy is already at the doorstep. Using a bow against modern firearms isn't entirely useless. At close range, you can strangle an enemy with the bowstring. John never misses a chance to eliminate an enemy this way. He then frantically pulled the trigger, sending them to their doom. Taking out these pursuers was just the beginning. Another group of assassins had already surrounded Koji. Although he could break through the encirclement himself, none of his men survived. At this moment, Master Yi hadn't finished his bowl of noodles yet. Blind man, it's time to work. Master Yi, who tried to delay by eating noodles, finally had to take action. The dark environment had no effect on the blind Master Yi. As the Japanese warriors were taken down one by one, Master Yi seemed to suddenly grasp a mysterious Eastern martial art. However, the kind-hearted Master Yi didn't kill them. He just temporarily disabled them. But things were much more dangerous for John and Koji's daughter. Assassins don't follow any code of honor. Every bullet they fire is meant to kill. Facing such a formidable opponent, you have to fight with all your might to have a chance to survive. The petite daughter of Koji stabs the burly man repeatedly while riding on him. After finally taking one down, he was shot in the lower back. Air helped his daughter and retreated, leaving the rest to John. John is getting older, so he prefers to use a gun whenever possible. Close combat is no longer his forte as a middle-aged man. Often, it takes both a knife and a gun to take someone down, resulting in a bloody mess. Such fights waste a lot of energy, so John has to opt for a simpler method. Another big guy rushed out and John was instantly thrown to the ground. He quickly picked up nunchucks to fight back. Though he doesn't look as cool as Bruce Lee, hitting someone on the head with sticks is equally effective. Besides, John has his own unique sneaky moves. Only a few second-rate assassins remain. John swiftly ended the fight with a right whip kick, a left straight punch, and a rear naked choke. However, some still dared to challenge him, eager to experience the deadly nunchaku. John didn't hold back, sending them to their doom with nunchaku and knives. As for the most stubborn one, he must be dealt with using the purest nunchaku technique. All the minor assassins have been dealt with. Now it's Master Yi's turn to take the stage. Two close friends reunite without much small talk. After a brief greeting, they face life and death. In their first encounter, neither gained the upper hand. John hid behind the screen, gathering a complete set of equipment while waiting for Master Yi's arrival.
Did you?
The two clash again, alternating between cold and hot weapons. Despite being blind, Master Yi fights even more fiercely than John. This encounter makes them realize to truly harm the enemy, one must inevitably suffer as well. Master Yi chose to duel his friend with cold weapons, but John unexpectedly fought without honor. The two kept shooting at each other until their magazines were empty, without even a scratch. When Master Yi pinned John down again, so it was the guy with the dog who launched the sneak attack. The bounty on John has now increased to $20 million. Even though Xiaohei had high hopes for John, he couldn't help but be moved. As soon as John rushed out of the room, he found more assassins in the yard than he had imagined. Seeing the hitman, John asks how much it would cost to buy his life. Not much, but almost enough.
Getting there.
Xiaohei doesn't plan to take out John just yet. But the course of events is not something a temporary hitman can control. Master Yi is already waiting at the courtyard gate for Koji's arrival. Even if Koji made up a lie, Master Yi would have a reason to let him go. After all, everyone is only human, and no one can endure fighting forever. Ko Haozi was determined to fight to the end. Master Yi, despite being blind, had no choice but to draw his sword and clash with Haozi's katana. The two weapons clashed with a melodious metallic sound. Amidst the dazzling display, Master Yi executed a death roll, narrowly securing victory.
Take care of your daughter.
Master Yi was about to leave, but Hao Er insisted on fighting to the death and ended up being fatally stabbed. Watching her father die in her arms, Hao Er's daughter was filled with a desire for revenge. Knowing she was no match, Master Yi didn't finish her off. Instead, he told the girl she could seek revenge in the future. In the Osaka battle, only John and Master Yi survived. Everyone else was either dead or seriously injured. Hao Er's daughter caught up with John in the subway. After all, her father died protecting John. The girl wants John to take down Master Yi, or she will do it herself. I understand. The girl said nothing more, and John thought time would heal the hatred. But Master Yi ultimately couldn't escape the fatal blow. But that's a story for later. Upon learning that sending so many assassins failed to kill John, the Marquis suddenly felt a relentless sense of mission. It was no longer just about eliminating John as a person, but about erasing the very concept of John from the world, along with everything associated with it.
In Osaka was not
Bloodshed.
Without physical destruction, how can there be mental annihilation? The Marquis firmly believes his choice is correct. However, he is now curious about one thing. He was given the highest authority by the High Table to use all means to find John. How did a nobody like the Little Black, just a hitman with a dog, manage to accomplish this?
How were you able to locate him?
Xiaohei demanded a $25 million reward and a lifetime pension if he could eliminate John. For the Marquis, the money wasn't a big deal, but he couldn't accept negotiating with someone so obscure. Finally, they compromised and settled on $23 million. First, Xiaohei must overcome his own challenges.
Which one are you?
Xiaohei faced two choices: pull out the knife and save his hand, or endure the pain and remove his hand without touching the knife. If he could do it, wealth and glory awaited him. For $23 million, Xiaohei endured the excruciating pain and slowly pulled out his hand, successfully sealing a deal with the Marquis. On the other side, John learns that the Marquis has mobilized all resources to hunt him down. He immediately decides to strike back. However, the hotel manager kindly reminds him that he should learn from past mistakes. Killing the Marquis won't solve anything, just like when he killed the Elder. Before the Marquis's body even turns cold, the High Table will appoint a new replacement. What John needs to do is not just kill the Marquis, but ensure his own freedom after doing so.
turn his rules and consequences against him. Challenge him to...
A one-on-one duel under the High Table is an old tradition. Once the duel begins, whether you live or die, you achieve some form of release. The problem is, John has already left the High Table. To initiate a duel again, he must have a family identity. Inside a church in Berlin, John confronts his former Mafia family, hoping the matriarch will help him regain his family status. She reminds him that they are still under the control of the High Table, especially after John's reckless act of killing the Elder in the desert. The family was targeted by the Marquis for revenge, and the eldest sister's father was killed. It's not that the eldest sister doesn't believe John can defeat the Marquis, but before the final duel, John must take care of another matter.
To get back in. The bastard who murdered my father.
Big Gold Tooth, who has a vendetta against the elder sister for killing his father, is spending lavishly at the casino. What John didn't expect was that Master Yi was also here. Even Xiaohei and his dog were here.
Then take a seat.
But having many people doesn't mean anything. John came here for one thing.
I'm going to kill.
It's already a situation where you want to kill me, I want to kill him, and he wants to kill you. Why don't we settle this with a game of poker? The rules are simple. Each person gets 5 cards, and we play Texas Hold'em. John has 2 pairs, Master Yi has 4 nines, and Xiaohei has a straight flush. Seeing that all 3 have good hands, Big Gold Tooth slowly reveals his cards, showing 5 twos. Master Yi can't help but curse in his hometown dialect. John grabbed a poker card and slashed at his neck. The black dog's pet also jumped in. Master Yi pulled out a gun and took down the restless underlings. Unexpectedly, Big Gold Tooth, with his thick skin, was only lightly injured by the card slash and ran away clutching his neck. John had to rush into the hall filled with thousands of writhing bodies to continue his pursuit. Big Gold Tooth, knowing he had no escape, took a deep breath to boost his strength before making a move. Under the influence of the drug, his hefty body indeed made it difficult for John to take him down. Instead, John was kicked off the high platform by Big Gold Tooth. Climbing out of the water curtain again, he could barely hear the sounds around him. He vaguely saw someone swinging an axe at him and had no choice but to grab the weapon and strike the enemy's head. Even the usually good-tempered Master Yi couldn't tolerate cheating. He used the most delicate techniques to chill each enemy to the bone. Meanwhile, Xiao He continued to use the traditional man-dog unity. John has already taken down dozens of people with an axe. Finally, the showdown with Big Gold Tooth arrives. Confident in his strength, Big Gold Tooth thought he could dominate. But John tightly gripped the wound on his neck. Once exposed, he had no chance to fight back. In the rain, John relentlessly pounded Big Gold Tooth's head with his iron fists. In just 10 more seconds, he could have beaten him to death on the spot. But the casino bouncers rushed out and interrupted John's punch. Big Gold Tooth seized the opportunity, took a deep breath, gathered his strength, and turned to run. His sudden run created a gap, giving John the chance to hit his right leg with an axe from a distance. Then, with a powerful shoulder strike, he knocked Big Gold Tooth off the high platform, killing him instantly. To prove he had taken down Big Gold Tooth, he punched his face twice and took a tooth as evidence. The elder sister saw the gold tooth and understood that her younger brother had done a good job. She agreed to help him rebrand the family mark. And so, John successfully returned to his family.
The Ruska Roma will support your challenge.
John, now representing his family, formally challenges the Marquis to a duel. The hotel manager handed the Marquis the certificate proving John's return to the family. This young man never imagined things would escalate to this point. He always thought times had changed, and the high table should have new rules. Unfortunately, he was too eager for quick success. Even if there were new rules, they would come after he took power. Now, he must follow the old rules and face John in a duel. If John wins, all obligations to the high table will be unconditionally lifted.
Second, upon his victory, my excommunicado is to be
Before the duel officially begins according to the rules, John and the Marquis must have their final negotiation at the table. Since only one person can survive once the duel begins, the challenged party can choose the duel time first. The Marquis chose sunrise. John then set the duel location in front of the church. As for the duel weapon, using a gun is more thrilling. After the Marquis set the time and place for the duel, he constantly belittled John's self-esteem in various languages. He claimed that it was his people who gave John purpose and hope in life. But it was clear to everyone that the Marquis was scared. He feared that the duel would cost him everything, his power, his status, and even his life. So, the Marquis used the rules to appoint Master Yi to fight in his place. This is a shrewd calculation. Even if John wins the duel, he will only be spared from being hunted. It was Master Yi who died, and the Marquis barely escaped with his life. But if Master Yi wins, John will be killed immediately.
You will have your freedom.
This rule undoubtedly gave the Marquis an opportunity. If he could kill John before he reached the duel location, John would naturally lose the duel. So, John had to fight his way to the church.
Execution.
The treacherous Marquis deserves to be condemned, yet he still uses Master Yi's daughter's life to force Master Yi to act. Before the duel officially began, the two old friends sat together calmly. Master Yi told John that after his daughter was born, he tried to leave this life behind. He thought he could return to normal, but in the end, he realized that it's not so easy to leave the underworld. John and his friends said a gentle goodbye.
Is how you resolve the situation?
Old friends prepared a new outfit for John.
Kevlar front to back, the latest in ballistic chic, appropriate for all forms.
John successfully reached the duel location for the organization. Under the Marquis' orders, all assassins received a kill order. The bounty has been raised to $26 million. This is enough to drive the homeless assassins crazy.
If you want the prize, you must finish before sunrise.
The entire city's assassins have gone mad, each armed with a handy weapon. Everyone came for the huge prize money and a chance at fame. John's weapon, prepared by his old friends, is a 9mm handgun with a 21-round capacity, compensator, and optical sight. Enough for John to quickly counterattack when attacked at close range.
How close can you get me to the church?
Escorting the Buddha to the west, an ancient boat was already prepared. John navigated the underground waterway slowly towards the church. A few minutes later, he reached the end. This was the limit. From here on, John had to proceed on his own. The sun will rise at 6:03, leaving John with little time. Stepping out, you are greeted by the Eiffel Tower, which might bring good luck. But appearing on the street means you are about to be attacked.
A man in black has been spotted in the 7e arrondissement.
The streets are filled with assassins. John almost gets hit by an oncoming car but quickly shoots the driver. He barely escapes, only to nearly get hit by another car. Since someone provided a vehicle, John braved the bullets and rushed out, successfully passing the first block. With limited time, John didn't want to get entangled with these people. John's risky move gave someone an opportunity, and he was instantly knocked over. Struggling to crawl out, he uses the car as a shield to face enemies from all directions. Seeing more pursuers closing in, John takes off running and fights assassins amidst the traffic. John uses the assassin's momentum, pulling him onto the road as he punches. But the closer he gets to the duel location, the more assassins swarm from all directions. At this moment, Xiaohei and his dog have also arrived at the scene. Xiaohei snipes the competitor from a distance. Although it was for the bounty, it also gave John a chance to escape. The second wave of attacks failed again, and John is about to reach the church. It seems he senses the madness of these people. John suddenly decided to abandon the main road and, amidst the hail of bullets, dashed into an old, dilapidated house. Assassins are inherently disunited. Attacking one by one will only get you picked off by John. With Xiaohei causing trouble, there was no chance to kill John. The Marquis finally realized something was wrong and immediately called Xiaohei, demanding that John be eliminated. He thought 20 million would be enough, but now Xiaohei is asking for an exorbitant price. He wouldn't act without $35 million, which infuriated the Marquis, who smashed his phone in anger. However, Little Black's professionalism far exceeded that of ordinary assassins. With the dog assisting in the battle, Xiaohei is like a war god. At this moment, it's too late for the Marquis to offer 35 million. Xiaohei raises the price on the spot, demanding $40 million. Such an irresistible price drove the assassins outside crazy. A modification expert attacked John with a homemade weapon but ended up losing his gun and his life. John, armed with his new weapon, felt unstoppable. The Dragon's Breath rounds were far more satisfying than a 9mm pistol. Just a light touch would send someone to their grave instantly, without even a scream. The entire house seems to be dominated by John. Now only Xiaohei can still challenge him. Both sides lost their advanced weapons. John, using his superior fighting skills, tightly locks down Xiaohei. An assassin rushes in to take advantage, but is instantly taken down by the dog. Despite having a chance to counterkill, John only shoots the assassin dead. Under Xiaohei's puzzled gaze, he leaps and crashes through the window. John doesn't have much time left. He can now see the church. This is the killer's last chance before sunrise.
222 steps.
With less than 10 minutes left, there are more than 10 assassins on the steps. The 9mm handgun is John's biggest reliance at this moment. He charges up the steps, defeating enemies along the way. Finally defeated all the enemies in the way, but the night before dawn is often the darkest. Rolling all the way down, still dizzy and disoriented. The assassin uses a combo to grab and throw him down again. It's an endless roll, returning directly to the starting point. The over 100 steps John just climbed were all in vain. Nearing unconsciousness, he finally heard that person's voice.
Maybe 3 minutes.
Master Yi was supposed to be hired to assassinate John. But friendship made him choose to fight alongside John.
12 or 9. 9!
Master Yi's eyes are blind, but that doesn't stop him from accurately hitting the enemy's vital points. Even Little Black chose to help John at this moment. Not only did he eliminate obstacles from a distance, but he also sent dogs to attack wildly. Then, he could use the dog's injuries as a reason to pull the trigger.
You hit my puppy.
John finally reached the church before sunrise, a symbol of hope. As per tradition, everyone had a drink to calm their nerves before the duel. Then, they removed their coats to avoid hindering their shooting speed. Each person was given an old-fashioned pistol with a single bullet.
See you in the next life.
Silently counting their steps, they slowly walk out. After stopping, each receives a bullet. In the brilliant sunrise, the final moment is approaching. At a distance of 30 steps, neither hit the other's vital points. Next, at 20 steps, each gets another bullet. And he didn't even have time to pull the trigger. The Marquis was thrilled and immediately demanded to shoot John himself. Little did he know, he was already walking into his own death.
He didn't shoot.
Consequences.
The Marquis fell for John's ruse. John deliberately waited until the last moment to shoot, luring the arrogant Marquis closer. Now, the duel is officially over, and John has won his freedom. The hotel manager will resume his position, and Master Yi and his daughter are finally safe. Good brothers. John, who won the duel, didn't last long. After fighting all night and getting seriously injured due to a ruse, he finally collapses. His old friend buries John and his wife together.
Where do you think he is, heaven or hell?
Heaven or hell, John finally regained his freedom before dying. But Master Yi, who thought he was safe, couldn't escape misfortune. As Master Yi walked towards his daughter, he suddenly saw a familiar face. Master Yi's fate is uncertain as Koji's daughter appears. Just as he once told John, those who seek death will live, while those who seek life will die. It's been 10 years since the first John Wick movie. Keanu Reeves has aged, and his moves aren't as smooth and sharp as they used to be. But the intense action scenes are still plentiful. There might be another sequel, possibly still partnering with Donnie Yen. Life and death are unpredictable, and the cycle between them never ends. Just enjoy the sheer beauty of violence.